Hey, hit that subscribe button and join our journey to break free from the thoughts that hold us back. Let's dive into something raw and real today. I wish someone had told me this earlier. My life wasn't mine. I was a puppet, strings pulled by a hidden thought I didn't even know existed. It was suffocating me, dictating every choice, every fear, every sleepless night. This isn't just my story. It's probably yours, too. Inspired by Wayne Dyer's Your Erroneous Zones, a book that shook my world, I'm peeling back the layers of a mindset that controlled me for years. One line from Dyer hit me like a freight train. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. That single sentence cracked open a truth I'd been blind to, and it changed everything. Let me take you back to when I was 25, drowning in a life that looked perfect on Instagram but felt like a prison inside. I had a decent job, a nice apartment, and a social circle that seemed tight. But every night, I'd lie awake, heart racing, paralyzed by this gnawing fear that I wasn't enough. I'd scroll through my phone for hours, comparing myself to influencers, colleagues, even strangers. I'd obsess over every mistake, every missed opportunity, convinced I was falling behind. I didn't know it then, but I was trapped in what Dyer calls an erroneous zone, a mental trap where my need for approval was running the show. I thought I was chasing success, but really, I was chasing validation, and it was killing me. It started subtly. In college, I'd stay up rewriting essays until they were perfect, terrified of a B. At work, I'd say yes to every project, even when I was burned out, because I couldn't bear the thought of disappointing my boss. I'd replay conversations in my head, dissecting every word, convinced I'd said something stupid. I was living for other people's opinions, and it was exhausting. Dyer's book nailed it. The need for approval from others is one of the most crippling beliefs you can hold. That line stopped me cold. I realized I wasn't living my life. I was performing it. The breaking point came one rainy Tuesday. I'd just gotten passed over for a promotion I'd poured my soul into. My boss said I was great but not ready. I nodded, smiled, and walked out, but inside I was crumbling. That night I sat on my couch, staring at a bottle of wine, wondering why I felt so empty. I'd done everything right, worked hard, stayed likable, followed the rules, so why was I miserable? That's when I picked up Your Erroneous Zones, a random thrift store find I'd ignored for months. Flipping through it, I found Dyer's words staring back at me. You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. I didn't like myself. I didn't even know myself. I was a stranger in my own life, controlled by this hidden thought that my worth came from what others thought of me. The numbers don't lie. I was spending 8 hours a day on my phone, half of it on social media, chasing likes and comments to feel seen. I'd lost count of the nights I'd stayed up past 2 a.m., refreshing feeds, feeling worse with every scroll. A 2023 study I stumbled across later backed this up. People who seek external validation through social media are 60% more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and depression. That was me, trapped in a cycle of comparison, approval, and self-doubt. I'd say no to friends' invites because I felt off or not good enough. My relationships were crumbling, and I was too busy pleasing people to notice. Then came the wake-up call. My best friend Sarah stopped texting. I thought she was busy, but when I finally reached out, she was blunt. You're always distracted, always somewhere else. It stung, but she was right. I was physically there, but mentally lost in a fog of self-criticism and people-pleasing. I'd canceled plans to work late, skipped workouts to answer emails, and ignored my own needs to keep others happy. Dyer's words echoed again. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. I was doing exactly that, and it was costing me everything. That moment was my rock bottom, but it was also my turning point. I didn't have a grand epiphany or a movie-style montage. It was messy, raw, and painful. I started asking hard questions. Why was I so afraid of disapproval? Why did I need everyone to like me? What was I running from? Your Erroneous Zones became my guide, forcing me to confront the thought that had hijacked my life. I believed my value depended on external validation. It was a lie I'd told myself for years, and unraveling it felt like waking up from a bad dream. This wasn't just about me. You've probably felt it too. That pressure to be perfect, to be liked, to be enough. Maybe you're stuck in the same loop, saying yes when you want to say no, or scrolling through feeds that make you feel small. The truth is, that hidden thought, that erroneous zone, is controlling more of your life than you realize. But here's the good news. You can break free. I did, and it started with one brutal, honest look in the mirror. Staring into that mirror, I saw someone I barely recognized, tired, hollow, and weighed down by a thought I'd let define me. The realization that my need for approval was controlling my life wasn't enough. I had to dismantle it. Wayne Dyer's Your Erroneous Zones became my roadmap, and one line burned into my brain. You alone are responsible for your happiness. That hit hard. I'd been outsourcing my self-worth to likes, promotions, and other people's nods of approval. But happiness? That was on me. So, I rolled up my sleeves and got to work. Here's how I broke free, step by step, and how you can too. First, I had to face the truth. I was addicted to validation. I'd check my phone obsessively, refreshing emails, waiting for a good job from my boss, or chasing likes on a post I'd spent hours crafting. It was like a drug, and I was hooked. So I started small but ruthless. Step 1. I set boundaries with my phone. I downloaded an app called Freedom to Block Social Media after 7 p.m. No more late-night scrolling. I also turned off notifications for everything except texts from family. The first week was torture. I felt like I was missing out. But by week 2, I was sleeping better, and my anxiety wasn't spiking every time my phone buzzed. Data backs this up. A 2024 study found that cutting screen time by just 30% can reduce stress levels by up to 40%. That was real for me. I went from 8 hours a day on my phone to under 3. Step 2 was rewriting my self-talk. Dyer's book pointed out something brutal. The only approval you need is your own. I'd been my own worst critic, replaying every mistake like a bad movie. So, I started journaling every night. Not some fluffy gratitude list, but raw, unfiltered thoughts. I'd write down one thing I did well, no matter how small, and one thing I'd forgive myself for. Like, I nailed that presentation, or I'm letting go of forgetting Sarah's birthday. It felt awkward at first, but it rewired my brain. I stopped defining myself by my slip-ups. Over 6 months, I filled 3 notebooks, and my confidence wasn't tied to what my boss or followers thought anymore. Step 3 was saying no, and meaning it. I used to say yes to everything. Extra shifts, favors, plans I didn't want. I thought it made me likable, but it just made me resentful. Dyer's words stuck with me. You teach people how to treat you. So I practiced turning people down, politely but firmly. I told my coworker I couldn't cover her shift. I skipped a party I wasn't feeling. The first few times my heart pounded and I braced for rejection, but nothing bad happened. People respected me more, not less. I saved hours each week, which I spent on things I actually cared about, like painting again, a hobby I'd abandoned because I wasn't good enough. Step 4 was the game changer. I invested in myself. Instead of chasing external wins, I focused on what made me feel alive. I signed up for an online writing course, something I'd always wanted to do but thought I didn't deserve. I spent $200, which felt reckless, but it was the best money I ever spent. I wrote short stories, got feedback, and even published one online. That small win wasn't about money or fame. It was about proving to myself I could do something for me. A 2023 survey showed that people who invest in personal growth, like learning a skill, are 70% more likely to report higher life satisfaction. I felt that. I was building a life I didn't need validation to enjoy. The benefits were undeniable. Before, I was a stressed-out people-pleaser, losing sleep over what others thought. Now, I was sleeping 7 hours a night, reading 15 books a year, and even started freelancing, earning an extra $3,000 in 6 months from writing gigs. My relationships got better too. Sarah and I reconnected over coffee, and I was present, not distracted by my phone or insecurities. I wasn't perfect, but I was free, or at least freer than I'd ever been. It wasn't all smooth. I slipped up, chased likes, or doubted myself. But Dyer's wisdom kept me grounded. Progress, not perfection. Each step forward was a rebellion against that hidden thought that had controlled me. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was living. And the best part? These steps aren't just for me. They're practical, doable, and backed by real results. If I could claw my way out of that mental prison, so can you. It starts with one bold move, one honest moment, one choice to put yourself first. So here I am, no longer a puppet to that hidden thought, no longer chasing shadows of approval. Breaking free wasn't a one-time fix. It was a fight, a daily choice to rewrite the script of my life. Wayne Dyer's Your Erroneous Zones lit the spark, especially his gut punch line. You are not here to be what others expect you to be. That truth became my anchor. I'd spent years letting others' opinions define me, but now I was living for myself. And here's the thing. You're standing at the same crossroads I was. You can keep running on the hamster wheel of validation, or you can take the leap. This is your wake-up call, your moment to act. Don't let it slip away. If my story resonates, if you've ever felt trapped by the need to be liked, to be perfect, to be enough, then do something about it. Start today. Hit that subscribe button to join this journey. We're unpacking more raw truths like this every week. Take the steps I shared. Limit your screen time, rewrite your self-talk, say no without guilt, and invest in what sets your soul on fire. They're not just steps. They're your rebellion against a life that's not yours. Picture this. A year from now, you're sleeping better, chasing dreams you actually care about, and feeling lighter because you're not carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations. That's what's waiting for you. Don't believe it's possible? Look at me. I went from 8 hours of mindless scrolling to writing stories that got published, from losing friends to rebuilding real connections, from sleepless nights to earning $3,000 extra doing what I love. The numbers don't lie. A 2024 study showed that people who prioritize self-directed goals over external validation are 65% more likely to feel fulfilled. That could be you. But it starts with action, not just watching this video and nodding along. You've got to move. Here's your challenge. Tonight, grab a notebook. Write down one thought that's been controlling you. Maybe it's, I'm not good enough, or I can't say no. Then write one thing you'll do tomorrow to fight it. Maybe it's turning off notifications for an hour or saying no to something small. Share it in the comments. Yes, right now. What's that one thought holding you back, and what's your first step to break free? I read every comment, and I'm rooting for you. Let's build a community of people done with living for others. Still hesitating? I get it. I was there, scared to change, scared to fail. But Dyer's words still echo. The risk you take by not being yourself is far greater than any failure. Staying stuck is the real failure. You're not here to be a shadow of someone else's expectations. You're here to live, to create, to be unapologetically you. So, take that first step. Subscribe, comment, and start small. But start. Your life is waiting, and it's time to claim it. What are you waiting for?